Hi, this is Vicki. I'm coming to you to talk about my research that I did in JSTOR on the John F. Kennedy assassination. I found several articles about the assassination. There's a multitude there, but there was three that I really liked and I'm going to talk to you about today. One is by Alan Voigt. He talks about how to teach the history of the assassination and how to investigate it and how important it is in the history of our country, and that it's a very important event and needs to be investigated and taught about in colleges and high school history classes. He argues that there are not very many books and not very many textbooks that talk about the assassination. And he is a college teacher that teaches about it in his class. And he said it's how hard it is to get textbooks or good books that are written by historians to talk about the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. In fact, in his article, he talks about two other articles that I found. One was by Michael Kurtz, who is a historian who has written a very good book about the assassination, and the other one is by David Rohn, who is also a historian that has written another article about the assassination. Voigt argues and contends that the assassination is very important and that it needs to be taught. He also argued and concluded that the investigation, there needs to be more investigation into the assassination, and that there's a multitude of evidence out there to use to write books about the assassination. He believes that it's important to teach about it, and he would just like to have, he said that it's important to have the evidence and the evidence and the books and the articles there to be able to teach about the assassination. David Rohn, on the other hand, is a historian, and he talks about how historians see the assassination, and he says he also concluded and argued that there was a multitude of evidence out there that needs to be investigated by historians. Although he says that historians and the public may never really know what happened on November 22nd, in November 1963 on that day, but he says that most of the writers now are just researchers and journalists that have written about the assassination, and they've come to the conclusion that it was a conspiracy. But he also believes that historians need to investigate it more, but he doesn't think that will happen. Michael Kurtz was the other article that I used. His article was probably my favorite article, in which he talks about the Warren Commission and the investigation into the assassination. He says that the Warren Commission used all the evidence they had, but he doesn't believe they came to the right conclusion either, because he believes that they overlooked evidence. And he starts with the fact that the assassination should have been investigated under Texas law, which it wasn't. The president's body was taken directly out of Texas back to Washington, which it never should have been done. But all of the articles that I read used sources such as the Warren Commission report. They used FBI files. They used other books. In fact, Voigt's article on teaching history used David Rohn and Michael Kurtz's article as sources. I think that these articles were very good. They talked about the assassination in the way it should have been talked about, and I think from a historian's point of view, these articles are good and lead into the right direction for more research on the assassination of John F. Kennedy.